We're going to begin this segment looking at the stages of sleep and the brain waves involved in particular. And note that when you are awake, your brain waves are of very low voltage and high frequency. And this reverses as you fall asleep. So as you fall deeper and deeper asleep, as you go into deeper sleep stages, your brain waves become lower and lower voltage and higher frequency. When you are awake, beta waves predominate, and that's BETA, beta waves. So these are the lowest voltage and the highest frequency, right? When you become drowsy, alpha waves become predominant. So in this stage, you are awake, but you are incredibly relaxed. This is a really amazing state of sleep when you just sink into your bed. Some people who meditate learn how to hang out in this alpha state. In stage 1 of sleep, theta waves are predominant. Theta waves, it's Theta. This stage lasts just a few minutes. So it could be 1 minute, it could be 7 minutes. So it ranges 1 to 7 minutes, not very long, but a lot happens. So your breathing, your heart rate, your body temperature, they all decrease. And then one thing that is characteristic of this stage alone is something called fantastic images. Fantastic images are like hallucinations. They are sensory experiences which occur without a sensory stimulus. And the most common one is falling, at which moment your body might suddenly jerk. The second most common, by the way, is floating weightlessly up off your bed. These fantastic images are also known as myotonic jerks, but the term I want you to remember is fantastic images. Stage 2 lasts about 20 minutes, and it is characterized by mixed waves. It is the only stage that is characterized by no one predominant wave, just a mixture of all of them. It's also characterized by something called sleep spindles. And these sleep spindles are sudden periodic bursts of rapid rhythmic brainwave activity. They are a puzzle still to psychologists. Their function is not yet known. But if you are working in a sleep lab and you see this on the EEG, you know beyond any shadow of a doubt that your sleeper is in stage 2. Now, in stage 1 of sleep, you can be super easily awakened, the stage before this one, right? And for instance, if you were in my sleep lab, I could wake you up probably simply by whispering one word in the microphone. What do you think that word is? If you guessed your name, you are correct. Hey, in stage 2, you can still be pretty easily awakened, although whispering may not do it. If I say your name softly, or maybe twice, hey, but pretty easy to wake you up. Stages 3 and 4 are characterized by progressively more delta waves. So in both of them, delta waves are characteristic, and that's DELTA, but progressively more from stage 3 to 4. These stages are also called slow wave sleep collectively. So these are the highest voltage and the lowest frequency waves, right? Because this is the deepest sleep. Stages 3 and 4 last about 30 minutes, and during which this is much more difficult to wake you up. Now, at the end of stage 4 sleep is when most children are likely to wet the bed or walk in their sleep if they do that. Approximately an hour after you fall asleep, you enter your first phase of REM sleep, and that stands for rapid eye movement sleep. Most dreaming occurs in this stage, right? REM is characterized by rapid brain waves and rapid eye movements, increased heart rate, irregular breathing, your eyes darting behind your lids, and that non-sexual genital arousal that we discussed earlier. Your brain waves most closely resemble wakefulness, more closely than deep sleep in this phase. The sensory processing areas and the motor cortex of your brain are very active. But there are two chemicals that cause the brainstem to block these motor messages. In other words, your muscles are paralyzed, and that is why you generally do not act out your dreams. Rapid eye movements signal dreaming. We all dream every night that we sleep long enough to reach REM sleep, but we don't always remember our dreams. Remember your brain's full-time job coming up with perceptual hypotheses to interpret sensory messages that are coming in. If we wake you toward the end of REM, you are always dreaming. We get a full story-like account of your dreams, even if you think you never dream. Now, if we wake you up during other stages, we get nothing at all, or just, a snippet of a dream instead of this full story-like account. Let's take a look at the actual appearance of these waves, okay? So note that as we move down the page, the slide here, the waves get to be lower frequency and higher voltage. That's lower wave height. That's lower wave length and higher wave height, right? As you fall deeper and deeper asleep. Let me draw your attention so you can see the waves here when you're awake are the highest frequency, the lowest voltage. And then you see especially that frequency coming down in stage 1. And although there also is some voltage going up. And then in stage 2, I want to draw your attention to a couple of things. So if you look in stage 2 here, okay, you're going to see a mixture of waves. So you see some that more closely resemble stage 1. You see some that might more closely resemble when you are awake, sometimes even. Okay, you see some like here and here that actually resemble more stages 3 and 4 sleep. Okay, so that mixture of waves. What do you think is going on here? That, in fact, is a sleep spindle. You might have guessed that. All right. So note how the REM waves are not at all like stages 3 and 4. They're actually more like wakefulness than deep sleep. Believe it or not, when you are watching primetime television, your brain waves on an EEG most closely end up resembling stages 3 and 4 after you get into it. Oh, closer to brain dead. So these are what the waves look like, but REM sleep does not come after stages 3 and 4. So this is not the sequence, right? We are going to begin the next segment of this lecture by looking at the sequence.